Welcome to this episode of the CySA Plus Prepcast. In this episode, we continue exploring critical glossary terms that appear on the certification and in real-world analyst work. Every term here has been selected because it appears frequently in both exam scenarios and operational environments. As an analyst, you are expected to not only recognize these terms, but to understand how they function within detection, prevention, compliance, and response workflows. From authentication and metrics to network security and threat modeling, this episode adds another layer of depth to your working cybersecurity vocabulary. MFA stands for multi-factor authentication. This security mechanism requires users to provide 2 or more independent credentials to verify their identity. Common factors include something you know, like a password, something you have, like a smartphone token, and something you are, like a fingerprint. MFA is a critical component in reducing the risk of unauthorized access and is often discussed in exam scenarios involving identity management, remote access, and privilege control. MOU refers to Memorandum of Understanding. This is a non-binding agreement between 2 or more parties that outlines roles, responsibilities, or expectations in a shared activity or partnership. In cybersecurity, an MOU might be used between a managed service provider and a client, or between internal business units to clarify incident response coordination. On the exam, you might be asked to distinguish an MOU from more formal legal contracts, or to identify its role in security planning. MSF stands for Metasploit Framework. It is an open-source platform used for developing, testing, and executing exploit code against target systems. MSF is a valuable tool for penetration testers and red teams, offering modules for payloads, exploits, and post-exploitation techniques. While the exam does not require hands-on exploitation, you should know what MSF is, how it fits into vulnerability testing, and why it might appear in security assessments or lab environments. MSP stands for Managed Service Provider. This is a company or vendor that provides outsourced IT services, including infrastructure management, support, and sometimes security. In cybersecurity, MSPs may handle endpoint updates, log monitoring, or patch deployment on behalf of their clients. You may be tested on the difference between an MSP and a security-specific provider, especially in contexts that involve service-level agreements or outsourced detection capabilities. MSP stands for Managed Security Service Provider. Unlike a general MSP, an MSSP specializes in delivering security services such as intrusion detection, incident response, and vulnerability management. These providers often operate security operations centers and offer 24/7 monitoring for clients. The exam may present scenarios where you need to evaluate the benefits or risks of using an MSSP, especially for organizations without an internal security team. MTTD stands for Mean Time to Detect. It is a key performance metric that measures the average time taken to identify a security incident from the moment it begins. A lower MTTD generally indicates a more efficient monitoring system or team. This term appears in reporting and metrics questions on the exam, where you may need to match metrics like MTTD with organizational goals or determine how it affects the overall response lifecycle. NAC refers to Network Access Control. It is a security solution that enforces policies to regulate which devices can connect to a network and under what conditions. NAC systems can evaluate device health, authentication status, or compliance before granting access. On the certification, you may encounter NAC in questions related to segmentation, onboarding of new devices, or isolation of non-compliant systems. For more cyber-related content and books, please check out cyberauthor.me. Also, there are other podcasts on cybersecurity and more at baremetalcyber.com. NDA stands for Non-Disclosure Agreement. This is a legal document that prohibits individuals or organizations from sharing specified confidential information. In cybersecurity, NDAs are often used when engaging external vendors, security consultants, or contractors to ensure sensitive details are protected. Exam scenarios may include questions where you need to recognize the purpose of an NDA or choose the correct document for data confidentiality in a collaboration. NGFW stands for Next Generation Firewall. These are advanced firewalls that go beyond traditional packet filtering and incorporate features such as deep packet inspection, intrusion prevention, and application awareness. NGFWs can enforce policies based on user identity, device type, or content, providing more granular control over traffic. Understanding how NGFWs work and what makes them different from traditional firewalls is often tested in network architecture or threat prevention scenarios. NIDS stands for Network-Based Intrusion Detection System. This system monitors network traffic across a segment or subnet to detect signs of malicious activity. NIDS devices are placed at strategic points in the network and analyze packet headers and payloads to identify known attack signatures or behaviors. On the exam, you may need to compare a NIDS with a host-based system or interpret alerts generated by such monitoring tools. NIPS refers to Network-Based Intrusion Prevention System. Like NIDS, this system monitors network traffic for threats, but it goes further by actively blocking suspicious activity. A NIDS is positioned in line and can prevent exploits from reaching their targets. The certification may include questions about NIDS deployment, tuning, or its integration with other security controls in a layered defense strategy. NIST stands for National Institute of Standards and Technology. It is a U.S. government agency that produces guidelines and frameworks for cybersecurity, risk management, and information assurance. NIST publications such as Special Publication 853 are widely used for establishing baseline controls and assessing compliance. On the exam, you should be able to recognize the role of NIST in setting security standards and supporting federal and private sector alignment. NTP means Network Time Protocol. It is used to synchronize clocks between computer systems across a network, ensuring consistent timekeeping. Accurate timestamps are essential for log correlation, event analysis, and forensic investigations. On the exam, NTP may appear in questions about time-based access control, event reconstruction, or ensuring integrity in audit trails. OpenVAS stands for Open Vulnerability Assessment Scanner. It is a free open-source tool used to perform vulnerability scanning and generate risk reports. OpenVAS is frequently compared with other scanners like Nessus and is capable of identifying outdated software, configuration issues, and exposed services. You might be asked about the role of OpenVAS in vulnerability management workflows, or to interpret sample scan results during the test. OS stands for Operating System. It is the foundational software that manages hardware resources and provides common services for applications. Examples include Windows, Linux, and Mac OS. In cybersecurity, understanding the behavior, vulnerabilities, and architecture of different operating systems is vital. You may see OS referenced in questions about file permissions, process control, or system hardening practices. OSINT refers to open source intelligence. This term describes the collection and analysis of publicly available information to support security decision-making. Sources include social media, blogs, government bulletins, and more. OSINT is often used in threat hunting, vulnerability discovery, and reconnaissance. The exam may ask you to differentiate OSINT from closed-source intelligence or identify valid sources used in investigations. O-Source Security Testing Methods. stands for Open Source Security Testing Methodology Manual. It is a peer-reviewed framework that provides guidelines for performing comprehensive security tests. It covers testing processes for networks, systems, and human factors and emphasizes measurable results. On the certification, OSSTMM may be referenced in questions about frameworks, methodologies, or choosing the appropriate approach to assess security effectiveness. In this second glossary episode, we explored critical acronyms and terms that build on your foundational cybersecurity vocabulary. From authentication and scanning tools to policy frameworks and threat metrics, each concept helps you better interpret questions, analyze scenarios, and understand the language of the field. Mastery of these terms will support your success throughout the exam and in the day-to-day responsibilities of cybersecurity analysis. In the next glossary episode, we'll complete the final set of glossary terms, rounding out the vocabulary every analyst should know. Thanks for listening. To learn more about cybersecurity, please visit baremetalcyber.com. There you will find best-selling books, videos, and even more free cybersecurity training courses. Please subscribe to the Prepcast and our various podcasts. And thanks for listening.